Our final commitment is service and participation, helping our communities in ways that let us get to know the people that we're supporting. Service and participation are how we put our 10 commitments to work, rolling up our sleeves, getting involved, and seeing the ripple effect in our own backyard. When we pitch in, we're not just helping others, we're also building relationships, learning what makes our community tick, and discovering strengths and weaknesses that we didn't realize that we had. Whether it's planting flowers, painting over graffiti, or simply sharing a meal, the more we show up for each other, the more we start to see ourselves as part of something bigger. Serving together doesn't just change the neighborhood. It transforms us. We all walk away a little wiser, a little more connected, and God knows our world needs more of both. Participation isn't reserved for big events. We show up for church, book clubs, cooking classes, knitting circles, workout teams. You get the idea. We gather for all sorts of reasons, and sometimes it's simply for fun. Not every activity asks or requires us to serve, and not every group we join brings out our best qualities. Sometimes, though, we find ourselves in groups where participation is meaningful, where showing up is tightly linked to serving and supporting one another. Consider the humble marching band. For those who haven't lived it, band is more than just marching back and forth on a football field. Modern marching follows DCI, Drum Corps International standards, featuring shape-shifting formations, vivid metaphors, and unparalleled musicianship. It's sort of like watching a Broadway show on a football field. Check out this clip. When I was at Sam Houston High in the early 1980s, late 70s, early 80s, DCI competitions like that were broadcast on PBS. There's part of the importance of PBS. We would tape those things, and then we would wear those tapes out learning the shows. We transcribed parts into the nether hours. I remember chorus performing everything from Holst's The Planets to Ernesto Lacuna's Malagueña, which is a perennial favorite, and even pop songs like Creep. Chorus shows are big, they're loud, and they are packed with emotional punch. Also, Drum Corps is a summer-long event for any high school or college musician aged 16 to 21. It is intense, and the relationships formed in DCI are often lifelong. When people age out, they often become instructors, arrangers, and even managers. A lot of them become statisticians and logisticians, too. My high school band started practicing in the summer just like the Corps. We rehearsed from sunup to sundown every day for a month until school started. And then later, when the school year kicked in, marching band practice started in darkness. I'd roll out of bed and step into this thick, muggy, Spanish moss-laden Louisiana morning air. By 6:30 in the morning, the band was already humming, snare drums rolling, horns warming up, usually as a last attempt to remember a riff. And by 7:45, we were back in the band hall cleaning up for the start of the school day. Later, during regularly scheduled band class, we'd rehearse the music, tightening the parts, and not only listening, but feeling for the pulse that held us all together. After school, we'd head back out to the field, the sun now high and brutal, sweat soaking through our t-shirts as we drilled the show. Formations shape-shifting across the field, the music lifting us to heightened states of consciousness, our feet moving like dancers in unison. And then the band director's voice cutting through the haze, "Stop, stop, stop, reset, do it again." And we did. But practice wasn't merely repetition. It really was ritual. Every day demanded dedication, patience, and a willingness to serve the group. Every mistake was a lesson, and every triumph a shared celebration. We showed up for each other, rain or shine, because the music and the band needed all of us. Which, I have to say, makes me wonder. If we can do it in marching band, then why not everywhere else? If a field can shape strangers into a single sound, what about a neighborhood or a city? Service and participation, to which all the other commitments lead, are more than just secular moral issues. Jesus' central message, the one everyone conveniently forgets or just ignores, is actually about working together to create systems where everyone wins. If Jesus knew about marching bands, he might have called it the marching band method. Because band teaches dedication. You show up, rain or shine, because everyone's part is essential. One missing musician throws the entire show off balance. Working toward that balance taught me the importance of humility and accountability. If you mess up, you own it, you fix it, and you move on. You don't play your part louder than any of the others. You blend into the overall harmonious attitude of the band. Band taught me that helping the group means getting to know the people you're serving, their strengths, their struggles, their stories. We rarely know each other's stories these days, which is making it a lot easier to demonize one another. That doesn't happen in marching band. Years later, I still hear cadences in my head when I walk down a city street. I still look for ways to keep the groove funky, to help someone catch the beat. Marching band was my first real lesson in service. You give your best, you lift others up, and together you make something beautiful, something none of you could have made alone. And participation? Well, I've learned that participation is a practice. It asks us to show up again and again, even when it's 1,000 degrees in the shade and the heavens have opened up as if there really is a firmament of water pouring in through the earth. Service asks us to listen, to learn, and to risk being changed by what we encounter. It reminds us that we're not isolated individuals, but members of a group, all part of a singular, living, breathing, serving organism. Service and participation aren't just about making others better off. They make us better too. The more we engage with strangers, the more we recognize ourselves in others and see that every act of care ripples outward, strengthening the bonds that hold us all together. So let's keep showing up. Let's continue to serve, listen, participate, and grow. Let's build communities where every person is seen, known, and valued. Basically, let's start a band, and its musicians are everyone in the world, like the most ludicrously ginormous version of Grateful Dead meets Trans-Siberian Orchestra meets Fish ever. Who knows what we'll discover when we serve each other, not just as strangers, but as fellow bandmates, willing, able, and thrilled to learn the next tune together. Amen. Our question to consider is, what would our block, church, or city sound like, and look like, if everyone played their part? Let's ponder that for a minute, and then I'll open the room up for us to discuss.